Ahoy there, Captain Benzie here, coming at you with another Armajet video. This time around, I'm going to be going over update 1.11 to discuss what's changed and what that all means, and I'll also be doing a basic look at the general state of Armajet, where we're at, where we've come from, and hopefully where we're going and what's coming soon. Now, before we jump in, if you are enjoying this content, let me know by liking the video or subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. There is a whole ton of Armajet content on here, from weapon guides to sort of top 5 tips videos and that kind of things. I do intend to push out more Armajet videos as we go on. If you are enjoying this content, let me know what you'd like to see. Let me know in the comments section down below, or come find me on social media. Details are on screen now and in the description below. Right, so as I said, we're going to start by looking at the patch notes for update 1.11, then we're going to go on to the basic state of play. There is not going to be much in the way of graphics to this video, so if you do just want to put it on in the background while you're doing other things and listen to me, treat this as a podcast, do feel free. Right, so update 1.11 is landing, and with this we are getting an Armajet soundtrack made by Noisia. Noisia are a Dutch drum and bass group, and my goodness, this soundtrack is fantastic. Now here on screen there are sneak previews, it says, for Decloak and The Ascent. I will put those links into the description below as well, so you can have a listen to those. If you do like this, you can get the full soundtrack, the full 5 tracks, off the Noisia Patreon page for, I think it's $5. I don't know if by time you're watching it, if it's the 24th of January already, Friday, and when this patch goes live, Noisia may have released that, and it may be on Google Play, Spotify, all that kind of thing. It's well worth checking out. The Ascent is kind of like the title screen and main menu music. Vaporized is the queuing for matches and end of match sort of matchmaking music. That's a pretty pounding one. I personally love Wallhack, and I think it's called Hardskin. Both of those are fantastic battle tracks that sort of really keep it pumping. I love this soundtrack so much. Like, seriously, I've got some of it playing in the background now that you can hear. It is amazing. When you are in-game and you hear this pounding away in the background, it just really adds to the mood. If you're one of those people who plays with the music right off, put your sound on for starters. It's always really useful in Armajet to be able to hear stuff, but I would put the music up just a little bit. Make sure you can hear it, because it really does add something super special, I think. Beyond this, we've also had app optimization. Update 1.11 includes many performance optimizations. The download size is now 5 times smaller. In an age where AAA games are getting bigger and bigger, to the point that the new Call of Duty now, with its latest update, I think almost reaches a 300GB install on PlayStation 4. No. Just no. That's terrible. That is just bad design. That is lack of optimization. That is atrocious. Here's Armajet adding an exciting soundtrack to their game and making the app 5 times smaller. Proper optimization. That is how games development should be done. Unfortunately, AAA is now just pushing out games and crappy code left, right, and center. Sorry, it's atrocious, and I love the fact that Superbit Machine have taken the time to do this. One, that means that if you're playing on phone, you don't have so much of your device taken up by the app, and secondly, it also means that you load into battle faster. All of the assets load faster. If you're one of these people who, like me, your internet isn't the greatest, when you kind of go into a match and you don't get the 3, 2, 1 like before the match starts, you're actually in at 2 minutes 56, and then you get to choose like what weapons you're going to be jumping into, choose your loadout. This now means you're going to load faster, you're going to be in combat faster, the game should run smoother on lower end devices. That, to me, is very exciting. Now, there are some weapon balances and gameplay changes as well. First of all, to the much-aligned Badger. Everyone hates the Badger, the noob tube as some call it. Let's be fair, the Badger is certainly oppressive at lower levels. Yes, it can be countered. Yes, it can be countered quite simply once you know what you're doing, but in the lower leagues, in the lower ranks, when you've just started out the game, if you're one of the lucky people who unlocks the Badger early, you just tend to do really well. The ease of use is disproportionate to how difficult it can be to counter early on. My wife's been playing a lot of Armajet recently, and it's kind of funny listening to her go into a match, and she's like, "Oh, for crying out loud, more blasted Badger users." When you go up against a team of 4 Badger users all camping in the corner, just raining grenades down on you, yeah, it can be pretty tilting as a newer player, so you know what, I wholeheartedly sympathise. The Badger, it's a decent enough weapon here, projectile range has been taken down and the splash damage has been taken down. Basically it means the explosion isn't as big, so if you miss with the Badger, you do actually miss rather than still hitting and doing a rather large amount of damage, and the projectile range means that you can't lob it quite as far, and it does explode that little bit earlier. Those are both solid changes to the Badger for me. If you're enjoying using the Badger, it is still a solid weapon, it's just not a brain-dead weapon anymore. If you're losing with the Badger now, it's probably because you're not playing it properly. Go and watch my my lowdown video on how to use the Badger. Definitely still a good weapon. This has not nerfed it into the ground, it's just made it that little bit less brain-dead. I like that change. Speaking of, the Locust as well has had a 15% reduction to projectile range. The Locust got a significant buff recently to its damage and rate of fire, its DPS that is, sorry, with its rate of fire. Ultimately, it was probably a little bit oppressive with the amount of smackback it does, the amount that it stops you when you get hit in the face with a bolt of it. That combined with the sheer rate of fire and the range was just a little bit too much. So what Superbit Machine seem to have done is they've taken the range down and just gone, cool. You can't kill people from off-screen now. You do again have to aim it, you do again have to think about it. And I like that. I really like that. As it says here, we're closely monitoring all other weapons around this balance change, especially with the upcoming community tournaments. There are some weapons I'd still like to see some changes applied to. I'm not going to talk about them in this video, that's another topic for another time, but let's just say that again, there, the Badger and the Locust, I think, are both great changes. They bring it back into line and make them still solid weapons without being just that little bit too easy to get kills with and that little bit too ubiquitous. Good balance changes, wholeheartedly for it. Now the interesting and controversial one. They have placed a 0.25 second delay when switching between primary and secondary fire, addressing an issue between PC mobile platform parity. Basically, if you've ever watched some of the higher tier PC players, you'll see that they'll grab something like a Longclaw and a Marauder, for example. They'll aim at an opponent and you kind of left click, right click almost at the exact same time. You fire both your primary and your secondary at the same time, at the same point in space, and you can hit for a total of 150 damage. 75 for the Longclaw, 75 for the Marauder. Bang, that's a lot of damage, and that is one dead opponent. Now, that ultimately, you can do it on mobile, it's just a lot trickier to do it on mobile than it has been on PC. The developers have decided that actually it's a bit unfair that PC can do this so much easier than mobile can. We're just going to add a very slight 0.25 seconds. Quarter of a second delay between those two, so that when you fire one, you've got a tiny delay before you fire the other, which again, it's just making the mechanic slightly less brain dead. Now, I know I'm going to get a lot of flashback from people, some of the players in the Armajet community who, I've said this before, you know, I talk about double tapping, and they're like, oh, it's not brain dead, it takes a lot of skill. Dude, it's a left click and a right click on the same spot at nearly the same time. Yeah, you need to decide when it's best to use it. Yeah, you still got to focus on all your mobility and that around it, but let's not pretend that it's like playing through the fire and flames on Insanity. It's just not. It's not that hard, and it's nice to see that it's had a little bit of a nerf without removing it from the game. I do agree that it's a skill ceiling part of the game. I do agree that it is something that adds a lot to the game. The ability to do it is good. I just don't like the fact that it's so much easier on PC as it is on mobile when we've got those two platforms playing against each other. What you've got to remember is, for Armajet, I don't know the official statistics, but I know it's somewhere, the vast majority of Armajet players are mobile players. Unfortunately, the vast majority of the Discord and the competitive scene are PC players, so anything that nerfs PC ultimately gets very loudly spoken about, whilst the mobile players just kind of sit there and go, oh, that's cool. I would like to see more mobile players in tournaments and bringing PC... I don't want to say bringing PC down a peg, because it's not. It's not. It's just... It's making PC less obvious as a choice for that little bit of... When you're playing competitive, every little counts, right? Every step that you take forward counts that little bit. Every little advantage that you have makes a difference. So having what ultimately, because if I aim on mobile, it's about 0.25 seconds between me firing my first shot and my second shot. Making PC have that same thing is... it's just taking away that teeny tiny advantage that PC players would have had. Hopefully that inspires more people to come into the Armajet competitive community, especially mobile players. I know there are some fantastic mobile players out there. I really want to see more of them in the tournament scene. Now, speaking of tournament scenes, this is the part of the video where I start talking about the state of play with Armajet, and nowhere is this more prevalent than the tournament scene. We've had a lot of Mobile Gaming League tournaments recently run on Geyser, however the heck you pronounce that app, run by our local community expert Drucker-san. He's been doing a lot of good work with those, but it's amazing to see that the Forge League is up and running again, and this Saturday, January 25th, we have a new season of the Forge League starting up. This is going to be a major tournament series with all of the main teams out there and going. Of course, we've got favourites like Skyrose and Hammers Esports doing their thing. We've got Fiery Tail, which of course I am in support of. It's great to see here XOZ, which I believe used to be TXC, Noxus old team. Great new logo looking from those guys. Very excited to see how they play. And we've got some new teams on here as well, most notably for me, Terminus. Now, back in my old CNC Rivals days, I used to actually run with the Terminus Alliance there. It's come from CNC Rivals and moved into Armajet. These guys are some seriously, I'm impressed with how good these guys are. We did a little showcase match with Elsif and Serpus from Terminus, just against each other using the Black Tusk, and my goodness, it was so entertaining to watch. There's some serious talent coming from that direction as well. I can't wait to see how all these teams do. Now, again, the production values that we've seen, the MP4 teasers that were passed around, I've had a little look at some of the screenshots of what this is going to look like on Saturday, and it just looks incredible. Armajet Esports is going from strength to strength right now. This is a fairly sizable prize pool tournament. I think, there's a lot to look forward to here, a lot to sort of see going forward, and this is just the beginning. If you're into competitive mobile gaming, if you're into Armajet and want to play it competitively, do look to start with a team. If you can't find a team on the Discord, go to the main Armajet Discord or the main Armajet Reddit. Look for teams there, try out with them. I mean, heck, if you don't think you're good enough, you're only going to get better by playing with better people. Do so. Sign up, find yourself a team. If you're not the kind of person who wants to join someone else's team, consider starting your own and giving it a go. Even if you get knocked out in round one, have fun with it, take part in it, have a bit of a laugh. This is what gaming's about, so get out there and do it. And gracious me, Armajet has never been in a better position for this. I mean, heck, on top of having its own musical soundtrack now to go in the background of all this kind of stuff, looking at the production values for these tournaments and how incredible these guys are doing to push these forward and how just pretty it's all looking and how professional it's looking. Not only all that, we've got the 2 new game modes. We've got Fuel Frenzy now on top of Team Deathmatch, and we've got Battle Ball. These are great new ways to play the game. Very exciting. There's been hints and sort of rumours and talks about maybe us getting some new maps at some point in the future, along with other game modes. I mean, I know there's a lot of people talking about how much we'd love to see a free-for-all, or how much we'd love to see Capture the Flag, or Domination, or all these kind of game modes added into Armajet. And there's a lot of people saying, oh, wouldn't it be cool if there was like a city environment or an underwater environment or some kind of jungle environment like maps? A map that's more vertical, a map that's a little, like Canyon is so long, how about one that's so high and low and all this kind of thing? Very narrow but tall. There's so much going on in Armajet right now that the Discord is a great place to be. There's so many suggestions bouncing around. The devs seem to really be listening to the players. I'm having a whale of a time playing it, testing it, talking with people again, and I love it. I love it, and I'm not going to let anyone get in the way of that. I'm having a great time. There are some toxic people around who seem to just disagree with everything I say for the sheer heck of it, but I open the conversation. I'm glad to have the conversation, glad to talk about these things, glad to get different people's opinions. Anyway, that is just my thoughts on the state of Armajet right now, and on update 1.11. What are you excited about? What do you think's coming next? What would you really like to see added to Armajet? Let me know in the comment section below, or as usual, by coming and finding me on social media. Be nice though, or you will get blocked. Alright folks, thank you ever so much for watching, happy sailing, and see you in the arena.